I like to think about it for a minute. Okay, so I wanted to welcome everybody to our call. I'm glad you all made it. Like I say every week, these are so important to get on as often as possible. And let me make sure, hold on, I just realized I have not muted everybody, so hang on. And Susie, I'm going to unmute you really quick. Or you can unmute yourself, I think. There we go. Okay.
Oh, I can? Am I muted?
So I want to tell you guys really quick, I always try to remind you guys at the bottom, there is that chat feature. So if you have a quick question you want to ask them or me, that would be where you can do it. Or if you just want to say, hey, because I know everybody is really excited you guys have joined us. So there's a couple people I think I'm going to have to kind of keep contained a little bit, but so I know, and they know who they are too. But I mean, I've seriously been so excited you guys are joining us that I've been nervous to even introduce you because I feel like I'm introducing royalty.
Oh,
I know. It's pretty lame. Everybody's been picking on me for it, but so I have been following these guys since I joined 2.5 years ago, and we started doing our team calls regularly not too long ago, and I learned within like 2 weeks there's only so much that I can share and only so much wisdom I can impart from my experiences. So you guys were some of the first that popped into my head, to be able to reach out to share with us. And I was honestly shocked when you said, yes, you would. So, hey, other team. So without further ado, I'm going to let you guys take it away because we want to hear from you guys, not me.
Okay, so I think what I'm understanding is we're going to give our story. I hope this is good for both teams, and then maybe some business building tips. Am I right? Are we on the same page? Good. Okay.
I had suggested. Okay. And hey, I had suggested to Ruth that we spend most of the time just discussing how awesome we are.
Yeah,
is that fine with y'all?
Great idea.
Can we just really zero in right now and say, let's all applaud?
I'm going to take a picture of our
Susie's lack of planning. Okay.
Okay.
So go ahead, Susie.
So listen, for the new people on the Hangouts, we started Plexus 2.5 years ago. The fact that we ever started Plexus still, like, we giggle on a daily basis because it is so not something that we ever would have done.
No, ever.
Right?
I mean, I was so sure that I had a career in Speedo modeling that I just told Susie, I cannot believe that this is the direction that I'm headed right now.
Yeah, his Speedo modeling career. Actually, it took off with Plexus.
Yes.
So, yes. No, but seriously, we just feel very blessed. The Lord I had been praying for years that Chris would get healthy. That was one of my big prayers because he was anti-health. We've been married now 23 years, but at the time, 21.
Yep.
And one of our biggest fights was about his health. He didn't want to exercise. He didn't want to eat healthy. The more that I got into that, the more he went the opposite way. And so that was one of my big prayers. And then finances was always we had plenty of money at one point. Chris was in the mortgage business, and we made a lot of money.
Yep. And then I think my company single-handedly broke the entire industry.
Yes.
Just like crashed.
Yes.
But, we always say that, in hindsight, because we didn't start Plexus to make money. It wasn't ever our goal. We weren't trying to generate income from it. We were just so passionate about the products that when you hear us tell our story, going broke was literally the best thing that ever happened to us because it helped us recognize completely what the opportunity that Plexus brought.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we were setting out, and that's why we believe so much in the timing. And this is where, as we tell our story, if you had come to us 6 months earlier and said, hey, try this pink drink, or hey, you guys should take a serious look at this, we would not have done it. I mean, I'm just telling you, we weren't open-minded enough to it. So if you have people that you're approaching today about Plexus, just because they say no today, just know that their timing could come full around. Right?
Yeah, that's
good. Thanks, Susie. Thank you.
So I don't want to make too long of a story out of our story, but basically I couldn't quit Diet Dr. Pepper.
Right.
Thank the Lord. Because I had tried for 4 years, on and off. I could not ever do it. Chris loved that I had an unhealthy habit.
It was nice.
Made him feel better.
I had several, yes.
So he would sabotage me and bring home 24 packs of it. And, So I literally saw that a couple people had quit their Dr. Pepper habit. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try this pink drink, which I did not spend money on this kind of stuff, just so y'all know. I'm cheap. We have 4 kids. All of their needs came before ours. For me to spend money on this was insane. But when I said I was going to try it, Chris, the Lord did something. And Chris said, I think I'm going to try it too. And I was like, okay, well, let's order it. So we did. I have to tell you a quick story that we did not know which welcome pack to order. And our sponsor was new too. So she didn't know any more hardly than us. In fact, we were the first person that she told Plexus too. So we always tell people which welcome pack to get, because it took me about 2 weeks to order because I did not know. I would sit down and look at them and be like, I don't know. I'd shut the computer and be like, I'll get back to this later. So in the meantime, Chris realizes that it's a multi-level marketing thing and starts mocking it. Tell him what you think.
And so I had literally started Plexus with the intent of proving it wrong.
Yeah.
I was not interested in I had tried so many things and failed that like starting Plexus was just my way of appeasing Susie. It was like when she suggested this, I was either gonna it was gonna be a point of contention, or I was just gonna go, you got it, so much so that I'm gonna put it out there publicly. I'm gonna put on Facebook, my wife wants me to start this pink drink and it's gonna transform me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I came back about an hour later and I said, you know what? I was wrong. Susie is totally right. This stuff has transformed me. And then I found out that it was a direct sales company, which just added fuel to the fire.
Well, so on his before picture, he poofed out his cheeks and he put a pillow in his shirt. Yeah. He's like, I'm miserable and
I'm broke. Look how broke I am. Yeah.
Susie says this pink drink's going to transform me. An hour later, he does a skinny cheeks and Susie was right. I'm skinny. I'm a Speedo model now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so part of our passion comes from a place of we literally feel so blessed by what Plexus has done for us that this is a genuine, it's not a put on, we goof around on Facebook and you've kind of seen if you know us about us there, but this is a genuine love for people. I mean, we love to see people succeed. Yeah. And so when we had success on the products, it kind of came natural where we just ran our pie holes a little bit and people started doing what we suggested. I mean, we literally we had never looked at a compensation plan. Susie's, our ambassador, yells from the other room, or Susie's messaging with him. She says, hey, you guys are silver. And Susie goes, hey, Chris, we're silver. And I go, yay, what does that mean? What's silver?
I don't know, but she's excited.
Yeah, right? We went Fast Start Gold without knowing how to go Fast Start Gold.
Or what Fast Start Gold was. And if you're new and you don't know what it is, you should find out.
You should take a serious look at Fast Start Gold.
It's good, yeah.
So, and the reason was people were seeing the results in us, and then they were seeing the results in people that started around us for having similar results. And so they said, well, what should we do? We had them do what we did. We said, pay $34.95, get your product at a discount. That was our whole intention of doing it.
Well, and it's still what I tell people because I can't ever tell anybody to do what I didn't do. So $34.95, I paid that because I'm cheap and I wanted the best price.
Right.
And so that is why we joined. If our girl had approached us and said, hey, you should do this because you're going to make all this money, we would have ran. So I'm so grateful that she came, obviously, with health and joined for the discount because that is what we did.
Right. So listen to this. We're heading to our mailbox.
Wait a second.
What?
I haven't told about the health results. So Chris literally transformed before my eyes.
Yes.
Like within a few days, he was like exercising and asking me questions about should I eat this or this? And I'm like, what is happening? He's in bed. I'll never forget. He's like, hand me one of those Probios.
Yeah.
Probios instead of Probio. It took us about 6 months before we figured out.
Publicly, I would say, you're talking about Probio, and they would look at me real funny, and I was like, what what is Probio? Yeah. What is this Probio you speak of?
Yeah, Probio. So he would be like, hand me a Probio, and I'm like, okay. And he's eating my organic lettuce that we bought for 5 years over because I would go to Sam's and buy this lettuce, and he called it my $200 lettuce because you can't go to Sam's and just buy lettuce.
That's
so anyways, he transformed and exercising, and he felt great. He had energy, and it was crazy. And me, I had very awful heel discomfort.
Yeah.
Thanks. for like a solid year pre-Plexus. And I started to quit my Diet Dr. Pepper habit, which I did. I haven't had a sip of Diet Dr. Pepper since day 2. It was crazy how easy it was for me to go, nope, I don't even need those anymore. Candy, that was my other advice. But my heel discomfort started going away, and that got my attention because I love to work out. I taught fitness classes, run, and so I started telling people about that. Then I started having other crazy, I used to have all these compulsions, and I was never diagnosed with anything.
Well, I diagnosed her. Trust me, it was a problem.
Yeah, and so those like started getting a lot better, and if you know nothing yet at this point about gut bacteria and what that can do to your mind, I totally credit the ProBio and Bio for that. And
apparently, with Susie's research, it can't completely fix the mind. It made big strides, right?
Yeah. So, and then like womanly things got a lot better very quickly.
Yes.
And so that was another thing. So I'm telling everybody, I mean, I didn't start it to lose weight. I didn't need to lose weight, but I started seeing all these other things. But the transformation Chris went through was shocking.
Crazy.
And so we're telling everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, I had lost a significant amount of weight pretty quickly.
Yes.
And like my doctor was giving me rave reviews, not just like when I showed up to ask him if I could take the pink drink, I was already taking it. He knew my medical history. I had had a stroke when I was like 17 years old. I mean, I'm talking my blood pressure when I showed up to the hospital at 17 years old was 274 over 173. If you know anything about blood pressure, that's dying stuff. And I wasn't overweight, so it was
He had a tumor on his adrenal gland to his heart.
Yep.
And his family all gathered. They told him, gather around.
Yeah, he's not going to make it. Yeah. He's having a stroke. And so this happens. And so I was on blood pressure medicine since I was 17 years old. And so this was something that I was an athlete in high school. I was an athlete in college. It wasn't about being overweight that was causing my blood pressure. Right. So literally after being on the pink drink for about 60 days, my doctor calls me in and he says, hey, I'm going to cut your medicine in half. And I go, okay. And so he says, a short while later, he says, I want you to come back in 30 days. And then I'm going to have the nurse take your blood pressure in the waiting room. You don't need an appointment. Just have her stop by. And he says, and I'll call you if I need to talk to you. Well, within a couple hours I left, he calls me up and says, hey, I don't understand it completely, but your blood pressure is at levels I've never seen since I've known you. And by the way, bring me a copy of those pink drink ingredients. I want to take a more serious look at it. And I was and I raised home. Remember, we didn't know that one of the side effects was blood pressure regulation. We just knew I was only taking it to lose weight, right? Yes. So my doctor's now looking at it. He goes, he's telling me, I see why it does what it does. And I had some of my customers were also his patients that were getting similar results. So right then it was alarms were going off. Eureka. Right?
Eureka. Yes, Eureka.
And so we were
I have to tell that story, why we laughed. So Chris's dad passed away in November, sadly. It was a very awful, sad time. But right before that...
next, we're going to talk about feeding baby seals over their head. Go ahead, Susie. What's next? Go.
I have to tell you why I'm reading this funny. But so we were down visiting his dad in, June, July. And we were telling his dad, we're yelling fire, fire to everybody about Plexus. That is what we say all the time. And his dad goes, listen, fire is a negative word.
Yeah, he goes, I take cover when I hear the name fire. When somebody yells fire, I duck.
Yeah, so really,
Chris, let's focus on a new word. And you got to understand, my dad was like a Dale Carnegie trainer.
Yeah, super smart.
This guy trained every major corporation that you can name probably in the United States. And so you have to understand what his background is. And so he's trying to be helpful, but he's older than us. And so he goes,
quite a bit older.
Sits us down. And he goes, Chris, Susie, I think we ought to go with this word. Are you ready? I've been giving this a lot of thought. He goes, from now on, let's use Eureka. And so Susie and I bust out laughing. We were doing an event somewhere with Sonia Dudley and Helen, in Nashville. Yeah. Anyways. And so I looked at Susie and I go, Eureka. And so where you sit around yelling, Eureka! And we bust out laughing. But anyways.
That was a chasing rabbit.
We really enjoyed that story. This happens on occasion.
Every time you think of Eureka, you'll think of us.
Yeah.
Ever. You're welcome. Okay. So
Eureka.
Where are we at?
Yeah. So Eureka, my blood pressure has come down to healthy levels, right?
Okay, yes.
And so we realized right then, this is so much more than weight loss. It's not about the stuff that and it's kind of like what you all know. If you've been with Plexus for an hour, you don't know it yet. If you've been with a couple of days, you're starting to learn it. But this is not about weight loss. This is about health. And so, go ahead.
Well, quickly,
I was going to say something so good there. You sucked the life out of it.
Quickly, we had people that we loved and cared about that were seeing results with Plexus that had nothing to do with weight. We have a really good friend of ours who's about to go Emerald this month.
Yep.
She sent me a message and said, I just have to tell you guys, you know, I've lost like 20 pounds. This was a month in. She goes, I've lost like 20 pounds, but that is not what's different for me. What's different is I feel alive. I feel happy. I don't even know. She goes, I didn't even know I was depressed before. And it totally changed her as a person. She'll tell you. And it's one of the coolest. So that was kind of like this moment. Somebody just asked a question, when did you get it? Like, get it. This had nothing to do with getting the business, but that was the moment for me where I go, oh, this is something so much bigger than whatever this girl's crediting Plexus for her life, basically, and being happy. I already saw it with Chris. I'd seen it with me. I was starting to see it with some other people. We got another message from a dear friend of ours, and she said, just so you guys know, I was praying for the Lord to take my life on a daily basis. She had many autoimmune disorders and was living in pain, couldn't get out of bed, starts Plexus, and had amazing results with it. So those are the kind of messages that's when we started getting it. And that's where we drew a line, and this is super important for anybody on. You better be ready to draw a line and be all in, because in order to be successful, and when I say successful with Plexus, you might have a different idea of success. Our idea is diamond. Let's go ahead and go all in and go for diamond, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you have to be all in. You have to draw this line. So I walk into my office. At that point, I was working still for my family's company. And I walk in, and my own brother, who is a happy ambassador, mind you, love the products, he says to me, I think I'm going to have to hide you on Facebook. This is my older brother, okay? So I have respect for him. And I go, oh, okay, hide me. And I just kind of giggle in my head because I already had the belief system. I already had it going because of what I'd seen Chris, me, the friend that said, I can't believe I have my life back. The other friend that said, I've been praying for the Lord. I mean, I didn't care what my brother said. And thank goodness I didn't, because if at that moment I had been like, oh, we better back off and we better not, say anything. I don't know. There's just these defining moments for us where if we had stopped or not continued what we were doing, we wouldn't have had success, and a whole lot of people's lives wouldn't be changed right now because of that.
And hey, Susie's brother, this is funny too, because Susie's brother has a girl that they're relationships, but she's about to go diamond either this month or next month. And like, this is running right through her brother. Yeah, because they knew each other through relationship and like through a marriage. And so anyways, so now like all of a sudden he starts making a significant income. Okay. And he goes, Chris, Susie, we should sit down and really take a look at my Plexus business.
Yeah.
And like, he knows nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
That was a couple months after he told me he was going to hide me on Facebook.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden, it's like that kind of got his attention. So, but what most people don't know, and we talk about the financial rewards of Plexus, but we've never been, I think, going broke in the mortgage business. If you told any of our story, when I said it was the best thing that ever happened, we didn't have our priorities out of whack. It wasn't like, let's go make money at all costs. It was like, it became unimportant. We bought a fishing company because we love the outdoors. Our kids love the outdoors. And so we thought, what a great way to be able to make a living without feeling like we had to go try to make $1 million.
And we're going to pass it on to our boys, and that was going to be the legacy company.
Right. And so when Plexus came along, it did, for the first time in my life, it did not come from a self-serving place. Like, I had sold mortgages because I needed to feed my family, not because I love mortgages. When I got to the fishing business, I loved hunting and fishing, so I thought this would be a good fit, and I really didn't care less about the money. But with Plexus, you can have both the freedom that you get from being your own boss, and that is our motivator.
Yeah.
It's not, obviously everyone should own a helicopter, but no, I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying, right? I mean, like, it's not about stuff for us. It's about freedom. And so, like, when Susie and I are sitting here talking to y'all, you guys have to understand that we want this, and we want people to want this so bad. And I tell you what's crazy. We're not talking to you guys like we're trying to get you in. You know what I'm saying?
You're
already in. And we're over here going, Eureka, do something, because this is for anybody. I mean, I cannot tell you how many messages we get of people that are broken financially, that have created margin that were broken physically, and they're getting their health back. They're broken spiritually. So many people are broken spiritually. And so, like, for us, and this is for us, but we obviously wear our faith out there pretty well. We don't, like, if we die and somebody goes, oh, Chris and Susie, you mean the crazy Plexus people, right? Then we have failed miserably, okay? Because our passion comes from the Lord, totally. If you sense something different about us, that's what you're sensing about us. But our Plexus business, and when we tell y'all this stuff, it is from a you're not on our team. We're not telling you this stuff to make us more money somehow. What we're begging you to do is fully engage, because we feel like sometimes there's people that, like, we call it playing Plexus.
Yeah.
You know, they've made a couple dollars. You know, their mom is one of their ambassadors, which is, my mom is too, so I'm not making fun of that.
So is my mom.
Yeah, so is Susie's mom. But
Shocking.
you know, there's a lack of commitment coming from their end, where they just are going through the motions, and it's almost like they're watching that. Hey, congratulations, Betty Sue just went emerald, yay! But it's like it's for them and not for you. And what I think our big thing is, this is for you. This is for anybody that grabs it and runs with it. And so we spend most of our time now, every single day, our daily activities are so different. But our daily activities are to pour into people that want this. And so, like, when we're telling a story, I almost don't like to go too deep into our story, because I want to make sure that you understand that this isn't the Chris and Susie show, and we goof around and we joke around, but I mean, we want you guys to want this, and we want you to be successful at this. And so if one thing that we say you guys can grab onto, apply it, put it into action, and cause your business to grow, then we've done something successful, right?
Right.
Okay.
That was good.
Thanks. So anyway, so here's what happened. Susie, Plexus sends us a check. We didn't know how we were making money. We went fast for our gold. We're standing.
I like telling this part because I was right. I told Chris, I'm like, hey, I think we're making money. And he mocked me.
I go, Susie, nobody makes any money at those things.
And I go, well, I keep getting all these emails, congratulations emails, right?
Yep.
And so, but I didn't know enough to know what that meant. And so when we got the check, he even said to me, because I was excited to open, that's when we got paper checks.
Yeah.
I was excited to open the check. I go, ooh, I can't wait to see what we made. I think we made at least like $500. That's what I said to Chris. And $500 would have been, that's nice extra money.
Yeah.
He says,
You may maybe enough to take the kids to the movies, but please don't get over it.
Don't get your hopes up. That's what he said.
So I rip open this check, and I'm not kidding y'all. Like, we're standing at our mailbox, and my jaw drops, okay? I'm worried about clients, so I'm not going to go into the details, but I'm saying this is a real check, okay?
It was significantly more than my guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And so I'm not kidding you. I look at Susan and I go, oh my gosh, we've done something illegal. Just like that, because I can't believe they sent me a check for this size. I'm like, we are in some kind of a scheme. Great job, Susie. You got us in a scheme.
And we like it.
And I like it. So I speed dial my attorney buddy, and I go, look, I'm in a scheme. I like it. What do I need to do? Look into this company. It's called Plexus Worldwide. So he calls me back about 30 minutes later and says, man, I got to tell you, they're backed by Morgan Stanley, and they just got some award for the top 25, and he's telling me this stuff, and I hear him, but this is really what I hear. Hey, I need to lose about 25 pounds. Sign me up. And I go, whoa, click. He's a gold ambassador on our team. He still has a law practice, but so, like, right then, now, entrepreneurial Chris, the guy that is a salesperson but has never sold from a place of passion, he's sold from a place of self-serving. Buy something from me because I need to feed my family. I wouldn't say that, but that was what motivated me. Suddenly it turned into, you need to try this stuff because it's going to have a positive impact on your life, both financially and both health, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then, eureka, here we are. We're sitting here telling you all the story because, like, it is amazing to me when we see so many people that get it. It's like somebody asked that question over here. Ruth, you should have seen this question. It was phenomenal. They said, when did you get it? When was that moment? And really, our moment came in kind of a sporadic. Susie and I are sitting, driving to Dallas to the first convention. And I tell Susie before we get in the car, we didn't even tell our team to go to convention.
Hardly at all.
Because it was in Dallas. It was right down the street. But I go, I'm nervous about this whole convention thing. I would not have gone to a convention before Plexus, so we'll report back to you guys. Literally, you know what we say, right?
That's what we say.
And so next thing I know, and Susie didn't know there was a Plexus Lexus. So tell us part.
So in that very original post that he put on Facebook where he blew up his cheeks and then the alligator sucked him in the comments on that, because we were poking fun of our sponsor. We were like, all of us were having fun with each other, good joking relationship. And so in the comments, I said, and because he said he was a Speedo model now and rich. Yeah. So I said, and we're going to go to convention in our Plexus Lexus. Okay, so when I made that, and it's funny, we've gone back and looked at it.
On our timeline and look at like us pre-Plexus that day.
We didn't even have a product yet. No. I didn't know there was such thing as a Plexus Lexus. I didn't know there were even conventions. Just what we in our head of a multi-level marketing company, that's what they did. Yeah. And we wanted no part of it. Yeah. And so there we are 6 months later in our Plexus Lexus
driving to convention. And Susie is going. Susie goes, I can't believe it. So like if you guys have ever seen any of our earlier videos, they were like 2 hours long. I mean, we're sitting around the computer and like now we do like something like 3 minutes.
Or like 3 minutes or less.
So, but anyway, so we're making this video of us like singing, going to convention. Well, that was like that moment. And that's what it was. Yeah. And so we look back on like those times when I say, when you get it, and then we get to convention and realize what it is. It's not, let's all strap pom-poms to our hand and say Plexus, because that's what I thought. I thought, I'm already a huge fan. You don't have to motivate me. And that moment when I left that convention, I thought, wow, we've ripped our team off by not getting them to convention. Yeah.
Now we make a big deal about
we make a huge deal about going to convention. But
if you haven't been to convention and you're on,
you really need to go.
You need to go to convention.
Yeah, and it's not about it's being around like-minded people, hearing stories. They're having the same struggles. They're having the same successes. And it just builds more belief in what you're doing.
Yeah. Same with going to opportunity events if you can get to them, or being on this huge step that you're taking the time out. I mean, hey, we have people that will drive into one of our opportunity events 11 hours away that are on our team. Yeah. Then we have people
that fly in from like Rhode Island. And she's like, hey, and I'm like, hey. I go, Suze, the pressure's on. Susie's here from Rhode Island. Yeah.
Then we have people that live 5 minutes from us that
they won't even come across the street.
Not one time have ever done,
that's y'all have the same issues, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not just unique to us, but
so that's why when we see somebody that like gets it and they want this and they're all in, that's who we really try to pour our time into. Okay, so a few things. She asked us our daily. Kendall, what were you asking? Our daily operation? Is that what you're asking? I can't hear your question anymore.
That's okay.
It's changed a lot from what it was 2.5 years ago to now. So I'm going to tell you income producing activities. Yes. I'm going to tell you back 2 years ago what it was like. And it was literally, okay, first of all, let me say you're going to hear a lot of people talk about balance. You got to have balance.
Alec Clark tells us all the time.
And I agree that you have to have balance. But I will tell you that we knew that we were very all in Plexus. And we knew we were a little crazy, and we knew that we were ignoring our kids somewhat, a lot. Yeah. We have 4.
Oh, you still live here? Oh, I thought you ate the cornflakes. Get out of here. No, it was bad.
And I would have to tell our kids, I know we're crazy right now, but it's all going to be worth it. And I had such peace with the Lord because we knew it was from the Lord. Quickly, we knew it was from the Lord. And so I had such peace from the Lord that this is what you need to do right now. And that is, we went with that momentum. If you haven't read 21 Irrefutable Laws, you need to read that book. It's amazing. But he talks about momentum. And when you have momentum, you need it to go with it.
Yes.
And some of the little things that we did very right without knowing what we were doing was we started our team page because we didn't know how to communicate with all these people that were joining us. Right. I had never made a team page, of course. I was barely on Facebook before Plexus. Right. I'm yelling at Chris, what do you think we should call our team page? Yeah. How about Blessed by Plexus? And so that's where our group became a very tight-knit community because we were so excited about what the products were doing for people. And so the people that would come on, they were excited. We were excited. We're wishing each other happy birthday. We're praying for each other. That group it continues. It's almost 10,000 people now. But it is that same kind of community still. We have people that come on and ask for prayer. We have people they come on and they're like, hey, I can't get my family to listen to me. And all these people will come on and answer.
Yeah.
It's a huge part of our success that we have this group of encouraging, supportive people. Nothing we did, that was all from the Lord.
Yeah, right.
Because we didn't know what we were doing.
Let me bust in a little bit of the activity. So I'm going to focus on the question that you asked. And I couldn't help myself.
I was a big corner. See what I live with?
I know. So listen. Okay. So ours revolved around personally inviting people on a daily basis. This was not something that we would post something on Facebook and say, I hope somebody messages me. We
did post on Facebook.
Of course we did. That's in addition to this.
Yeah.
But this is a daily activity that if you're not doing this, you're screwing up. And so I want you to pay attention. This could be such an easy invitation. 1 or 2 sentences. Hey, I don't know if you've seen what we're doing with Plexus, but lives are being changed. You might want to take a serious look at what we're doing. Something, and then I would attach like a quick video or something that would be like, if I thought they'd be interested in the business before I send them that Morgan Stanley and Plexus video, if I thought they were going to be.
It's on YouTube if you haven't seen it. 3 minutes.
So and then I would just say, hey, if it's not for you, do you know anybody who might be interested in either earning some additional income or getting a little healthy? Just like that, very casual, not salesy. And the response would be, hey, I'm interested. But they usually will always say, I'm not interested in the business. I'm not interested in business. And I'm like, I know, you've told me that 1,000 times. And then 3 weeks later, tell me about this silver thing. How does this work? Do they really pay you? And I'm like, yeah. So we would just get them in. And that's how we started our whole thing. Here's what really, Susie and I know that you guys probably don't know. We busted our butts from day one.
Yeah.
There was no came easy to us. So if you think it's came easy, or if you look at people and go, oh, they had it easy, I promise you this comes with work. And this comes with effort.
We were working 24/7
I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and start messaging people saying that little thing. And then
I wasn't going to bed until about 1 in the morning.
Yeah, so it was like this alternation that would happen. And so, but this activity, it's like having a Ferris wheel. And I use this analogy for our team where we're taking people, we know what to do with them when they join, we're plugging them into our Facebook groups, we're teaching them some of the basics, don't overwhelm them. You will make them run and join the Secret Service if you try to teach them everything at once. They're going to sit down and go, oh my gosh, points, what is all that? Don't worry about that.
The most important thing, and this is good if you're new, you don't have to know hardly anything about the products and hardly anything about the business, the compensation plan, because we didn't. Yep. You just go tell people about these amazing products and they're changing people's lives, and those people are going to be like, well, how do I get some? And then if they have questions like, what are these natural ingredients, or how do you make money? Then you say, I'll go find out the answers, because that's what we did. We went and found out the answers as we learned, as we went.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that is like the constant daily invitation. We do it today. We welcome somebody to our personal team page yesterday. Yeah. Like this is something that we continue to do. It's not our focus. Like unless you about have to beat us over the head to reach out and join our team. And the reason I say that is because our focus is on our team. It's not on us. Right. So like a lot of times people are like, when we're talking about how we grow our business, it is 100% of our daily activities today is about our team. It's about making 3-way calls with our team. It's about meeting Zooms with our team, Zooms with our team, that type of stuff, not necessarily out trying to grow Chris and Susie, so we can put another.
Although I will tell you that when we do go places, we always end up, and it is kind of a high for us.
It's crazy.
We'll be like, ooh, yeah,
right.
Hey,
it's
furniture
fun.
stores.
Oh my gosh, they think we're there shopping for furniture. We're shopping for ambassadors. I mean,
they work a lot of hours.
We signed up 2 ambassadors in Mathis Brothers Furniture. I mean, while we were shopping in the store, we're gathered around. Next thing I know, we're in like this sectional of like this leather stuff going, everybody gather around. We have like their phones out. Remember they were joining.
We've had little mini opportunity events in many places like that. And we're not scared to talk to strangers, obviously. If you are and you think, well, I don't know how I'm ever going to do that, the more that you start doing it, the easier it gets.
Start simply. I mean, smile. Say hi. Say nice weather. Yeah. You don't have to sell them Plexus right from day one.
People are kind of surprised when you smile and are nice to them.
Yeah, that's right.
So Chris can approach people differently, but my easiest way to approach
duct tape, wrapping it around him tight, put him in the trunk and say, do you have a social security number at $34.95? That's effective.
My easiest way is, let's say I have like a really nice girl checking me out, or she has a good personality. I'll just say, hey, you have such a great personality. Have you heard of Plexus? And 99.9% of the time, they've never heard of Plexus. If they have heard of Plexus, they don't know what it is. They're like, yeah, it's a diet. They just don't know. And so I have learned the hard way. I can't talk to them a long time right then, but I give them my card, tell them I think they would be amazing and that I'm earning an incredible income and they should totally talk to me. So if the worst thing happens is I've given them a compliment and they don't call me, oh well, I've made their day for telling them they have an amazing personality.
Yep.
And I don't tell people with crappy personalities this, so it's true.
Yeah, right?
If they have a crappy personality, I tell them they need the pink drink because it'll make them happier.
True story.
So Chris has different ways. That's my easiest way.
A couple questions that'll change your business forever is, do you know anybody who might be interested in earning some income by posting on Facebook? That question is not saying Plexus. It's a very generic question, but it leads them to, yeah, me. That's what they're going to say. And you say, what's the best place I can send you some information? Is it email or Facebook? If you'll ask 5 people that question a day, your business will change forever. But that I can't make it more simple than, without saying the word Plexus, you don't have to describe it. I'm leading with the business on purpose because you don't want them to be offended. If you're standing, okay, do you know anybody who might be interested in earning some additional income from posting on Facebook? I never said Plexus, and they're going to say, yeah, me, or they'll look at you funny and go, what are you talking about? Is this some kind of a scam? You know, really, but it's easy because it's strangers, okay? So we're not trying to sell them Plexus right there on the spot. We want to get their information and then can the information that you want to send them and send that email, and that way you can follow up with them later.
And I like to friend them on Facebook right then on the spot, and then they just start seeing Plexus in my newsfeed.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that this is a relationship business, and so building relationships in order to build trust. And we've done it successfully, but you have to know that it might not happen within 3 days. It might be a couple months before that person reaches out to you, but you know they're watching. And so we've been successful with that. And here's the thing. I don't meet people and make friends with people with thoughts of, ooh, they're going to become my Plexus ambassador. I just like people, and I like making friends. So
I have a sole purpose when I'm reaching out to people. It is self-serving, and I am going, you seem kind of nice. Come on over here. Let me take a look at you.
That's not true.
You want some Plexus? No, that's not what I say. Not totally. No.
We're people.
We are.
We're people.
Here's another thing you need to start doing if you're not doing this. I can't tell you how many customers or ambassadors I've gotten by having a loud conversation on my cell phone standing next to Susie. Can you believe that Susie lost 28 pounds on the pink drink? Really? Okay, see you later.
Awkward when you're
okay, I'll talk to you later. Click. And they go, they'll come running at me. What is this pink drink? Tell me about this pink drink, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Happens all the time.
We have one of our on fire ambassadors right now. I called her about a year ago. I called her on accident. I thought I was calling a different Amy. And I said, I'm a talker. So for like 5 minutes, I'm talking about all these things about the products. And she goes, Susie, I don't think you're talking to the right Amy. This is Amy, whatever. And I go, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. I had just gotten Amy out of my contacts. Anyways, she's now an ambassador. It took her a year though, And we had an hour conversation. She's going to sign up. I took her products. And anyways, long story short, it just never was the right timing for her. Now it is. She's lost, I don't know how much weight. Her husband, just with gold. Making money. Her husband has these incredible lab results with cholesterol. I mean, it's crazy. But God's timing. Once again, I think a lot of people are just a little short-sighted. They think that if it doesn't happen this fast, then it's not for me. And I will tell you that the only way that you lose or you don't win with Plexus is if you stop.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many people now come to me and they're like, well, so-and-so used to do Plexus, but they're not doing it anymore, so I thought I would talk to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, hey, I'm going to give you guys, because I know we're getting low on time.
My shirt. My shirt. Look, keep going. Can you see it on my face? Keep going. This is my inspirational Walmart.
Thank you, Susie.
Walmart, $5.
Thank you, Susie. So listen. That was fantastic.
Thanks.
I'm going to keep going now. Okay, so watch. So listen to this. this is something I told my son, who was not actively working his business, and you need to hear this.
But he wanted a Lexus.
He wanted a Lexus. Hey, when did he deliver the Lexus? That's what he says. I'm like, dude, you've got to tell somebody what's happening.
One person.
Nothing. So he goes off, works at Academy for $8 an hour, decides he doesn't want to do that anymore.
For about 6 months.
Yeah. And so he says, I'm going to start working my Plexus business. So we start discussing it. He says, how do I know? I said, well, first, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? He goes, I want to be an Emerald Ambassador. And I said, okay. So you want to be an Emerald Ambassador by when? And then you set a time frame that's realistic. Don't say, people that come on and go, I'm going to be Emerald by next month. I'm like, probably not going to happen. So set realistic goals. Yes. But here's a path that I put him on that is very easy to recognize if you're on target for that or not. And here's what it is. Do not freak out when I'm about to tell you something. You have to promise, as I'm about to tell you this, you're not going to go, well, that's not realistic. This is realistic, okay? I've told this on these type things before. I could go through my messenger and probably show you 15 people in the last week that have messaged me saying, I cannot believe this is happening. Here it is. So I tell them, you need to add 3 people to your team somewhere each week. I don't care what level they are to you. It could be a level 5, a 4. Don't care. When you look at your new ambassadors, when you log into your back office, you want to literally be on pace to add 3 people each week. My son, who's in the other room, is going Ruby this month. He will be an Emerald Ambassador by July because he applied that. I said, now, sometimes you're going to have to add those yourself. Other times you're helping your teammates do it. But if you can add 3 people to your team each week, you will blaze to the top. I'm telling you. I mean, those numbers will change as your team gets bigger, but that is something that it's been our focus from the beginning. And now we got to look out and say, okay, are you on track? Can you do this? Are you on pace? So, but I'm telling you, it's doable.
There's a lot of smart people and Jewel ambassadors that know every report, even in the new back office. We don't know
any of that.
But we know to look and see how many that we've added that day.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
How many is our team growing? Are they growing? Is what we're doing working?
If it's not, we need to change what we're doing. And that's a big thing, is that if right now you're not growing, change what you're doing.
Change the activities that you're doing.
Do something different.
Yeah. So
okay, I know that this one's going to end, and
Ruth, are you guys leaving us?
Well, I don't know how long, but I want to make sure that I told this part. So Chris and I would not have been attracted to network marketing. If we had thought we'd be into network marketing, we wouldn't have. We would have ran. We wouldn't have even gone across the street to our neighbor's house to hear about some pink drink, right?
Yep.
So from the very get-go, we knew we had to stay true to us. And so we've never done typical multi-level marketing things. And what I mean is, we don't have parties at our house and have everybody come over. But if you want to, do it. It's fine. We just went about it a different way.
We don't have meetings. We have get-togethers. Meetings sound like a beating to me. Like if you said, come to a meeting,
who wants
to show up and get trained. Let's go to training. And we're like, ew, that's not us. So we try to make it more fun.
Right. We didn't change who we were. Like when Chris and I started making videos, it was because I realized that our team wasn't really, they didn't care what some of the people we were like giving them videos. It's like they want to hear from us. So Chris goes, this is one of my favorite things ever.
Notice there's going to be a theme. You're going to tell about a beat down here. Go.
I was telling one of my kids for the school project, and he goes in and locks himself in a bedroom. See, there's went. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Now we're just on y'all.
We totally like y'all better anyways, just so you know.
Y'all are our favorite.
Yeah.
Open it back up in case they pay you.
Oh, no, I hate them.
Okay, so listen. I know, they had the free one that ended. Sorry. Okay, so Chris goes in that room and like, Mr. Serious, businessy. Yeah, I have a script.
This is Plexus. You guys got to take a serious look at it. It is so fantastic, right?
If I could have my
hands on that
had
this, we would put it out and you would laugh.
So after working a couple hours on whatever he wanted to say, he presents it to me. And I've been working on the kid project. And I was like,
yeah,
this seems really salesy.
You should have put on a plaid jacket and like a tie, because you could have been selling a used car right
here.
Huh?
I was like, I be just more ourselves. Okay, and so some of our original videos, we are not near as fun as we are now, because we were trying to be a little more straight-laced. We actually had some people tell us that they thought we were inappropriate on some of our videos.
Oh, of course.
If we had listened to
Okay, have we lost them? Y'all are frozen if you can hear us. Hold on, I'm going to message Susie on here. You're frozen. Hey guys, I pay for ours, so we get longer than an hour. Well, I don't know if we're going to get them back. Okay. Boo. That was so fun, though. Okay, so do you guys feel like you're ready to go talk to every stranger that you meet and hand them a business card? Because I know I am. Corey kept messaging me about how excited he was and how much he's learned from them. So, well, I don't have any, like, awesome, crazy stuff for y'all because they were my people to do it. But I guess we'll end with them on that note. But I can see some of you. Raise your hand if you are using the sale that we have right now. Raise your hand if you've messaged at least 10 people since the sale came out. Okay, I see a lot of hands still up. Hold on, I'm seeing if Susie has, no, she has not messaged me back. I guess they're gone. Okay, well, work it, team. I don't have anything else for y'all, but I love you guys, and we're going to leave it with that. I'm going to stop the recording, so y'all hang on real quick, okay?